So I hadn't made a YouTube post in a while. So I figured I'd make a video, go over some of the projects I've got going on right now, and just sort of give a little update, hang out for a little bit. Most of you probably seen on the channel, so I've got my 1986 Trans Am. That was my first car. Set up right now to be, a street car, do a little bit of drag racing, test and tune nights, that sort of thing. The ultimate goal is going to be to go and do some of these drag and drive events. I'd like to make Midwest Drags next year and really see what that's all about. I've got some good buddies that are big into doing the drag and drive events, and I'm excited to potentially jump into that with them. And other than that, just some local track days, car meets, and just genuinely enjoy the cars. Where to start with this thing? So this is my 1986 Pontiac Trans Am. Got some pictures of it up on the channel, but I've never really talked about the car. This was my first car. I've had it since a little before I turned 16. Started life as a 305 with the Rochester Quadrajet 4-barrel that may or may not have had the cleaner lid flipped over once or twice. And you couldn't tell me anything in high school. This was the coolest car around. I loved it, and it was not fast. There was nothing about that little 305 that was fast, but it sounded great, it looked great, and it was perfect for being in high school. I absolutely loved it. Yeah, the interior in this car is pretty well stocked. The back seats are original. The front seats were recovered, I don't know, 15 years ago. It does have an aftermarket head unit, but other than that, everything is pretty much stock. No cracks in the dash pad. Of course, the door panels sag a little bit, and I've got some cracks up here, but nothing major. May do a 4-chin console swap in it at one point, just because your boy wants cup holders, but we'll approach that when we get some of these other projects out of the way. Fast forward a few years, it sat for a while. I've been through several other cars since then, but honestly, it's thanks to my wife, my dad, granddad, that this car didn't get sold many times over, because I had thought about it. When other projects caught my eye or whatever it may be, definitely thought at times of getting rid of it, and I'm definitely glad that I didn't. So, kept the car, decided once I had a house of my own and had a garage that I was going to do an LS swap in it. I went back and forth between sticking with another small block or doing the LS, and I'm not one of these guys who's going to ever tell you that an LS swap is just the cheapest way to go, that you're just going to make a ton of power super cheap or anything like that. Nothing in this world's cheap these days, but personally, I did a little bit of horse trading and ended up with a 6.0 LQ4 for around $300 of what I had in it with the trading and everything that I did. Got the accessories, the computer and everything. And then reality set in, and the other things that I started having to pick up, and got the engine in the car and realized quickly what I already knew, that the truck intake was not going to clear the stock hood. So I knew I was either going to have to go to a cowl induction hood or make some changes. I had an opportunity to pick up an LS6 intake with a drive-by cable throttle body when I bought my harness, and everybody who's in the 3rd gen world knows Pocket. I bought a pre-made harness from Pocket that's made for a 3rd gen. I put the PCM in the factory location, and I can't say enough good things about this harness. I laid it in the car and it plugged up. Everything just kind of laid right where it needed to be. Got the LS6 intake and the drive-by cable throttle body, as you can see here, and realized very quickly that the truck water pump that I had, the snout was going to hit on the throttle cable bracket. So switched to an F-body water pump. Well, I'd already ordered all of these brackets to make my accessories the way I wanted them from ICT Billet, and obviously that wasn't going to work with the F-body water pump. It's more shallow. So went back to ICT. They got me set up with some adapters that made that work, and it set it out at the right depth to work with everything that I already had. And just phenomenal people to work with. They got me parts quick, so I was able to keep the project moving forward. Very recently, I added these ICT Billet coil brackets that look phenomenal, because everything else that's on here, there's a ton of ICT billet stuff on this engine, but you can't really see any of it, and this really kind of shows their logo, and you can see it. And I wanted to make sure, for the tens of people that look at my car, that I was representing some ICT's products, because they're quality products, they're great people, fast shipping. I mean, I don't know what more you want from a company that you're buying parts for your project car for. Get you a little closer look at these ICT coil brackets here. They are fantastic. They sit a little bit closer to the valve cover, which is really nice, but they just look so clean. So much better than just the stock brackets. Love the way they look. You probably can't see down in there, but you can see the little ICT logo right down here. But like I said, all these billet spacers and adapters and everything that allowed me to put the accessories really right where I wanted them, all comes from ICT. Quality product, quality company, great people. I mean, you can't ask for any better. I can't possibly cover everything about the swap in this one video. I mean, I probably could if I was a little more organized, but time's at a premium these days. I did do the Corvette fuel regulator sending unit Walbro 255, because originally this was a carbureted car, so I had to swap all that stuff out. The Corvette fuel filter is regulated at 56 psi, so you don't have to run like a fuel regulator. It just worked, which is great. And I was able to use the factory hard lines to an extent. That's going to get some changes, because I don't really like how it comes up on the passenger side. It's awful close to the header, so I had to heat wrap the hard lines. But for now, it's working. I mean, the car runs. I've driven it, to some cars and coffee events, things like that. I've made passes with it, no issues. But got a little bit of a ways to go.
All right, so just a little bit, because I happen to be under the car anyway. So from the new sending unit, I converted to these Air-Equip soft lines here. We've got the push-in AN adapters and fuel fittings here to connect to the Corvette fuel filter. I believe this is a Wix filter. I use their oil filters, so I figured why not buy the Wix Corvette fuel filter as well. And then I've got soft line and another push-in adapter coming from here that goes up, and right up here a little further converts up back to the factory hard line, takes that up, goes over the transmission tunnel, and comes up the passenger side. Ultimately, what I'd like to do is this soft line here basically come from here all the way up the frame rail and just come up the driver's side and keep it well away from the headers. But that's a future project, just because right now everything's working well, the car's running, we got no leaks. So at least for right now, if it ain't broke, we're not going to fix it.
I did have to replace the radiator when I did the swap, and this is an interesting, I picked this 3rd gen radiator up off of Amazon, and I got it for like $18. So if you're ever shopping around for parts for your car, make sure you go and look at the Amazon warehouse deals. A lot of times you can find some parts there that somebody shipped back. I don't know why they did ship it back. There was some styrofoam like in the fins. Maybe they thought it was a problem. I hit it with a shop vac, pull that stuff out of there, and it's been in this car for several years now. It's been running great. So to whoever returned the 3rd gen radiator to Amazon several years ago, thank you. Recently, I decided, after making some 13.0 passes at the track with the stock LQ4 and just LS6 intake and long tubes, that I wanted to go ahead and do a cam swap on it. And in doing a cam swap, there's some supporting mods you got to do with that, or you should do, I should say, because I went with a decently high lift cam. I went with the TIC Performance Street Heat Stage 2 cam. So I went ahead and did double valve springs. Obviously needed new valve seals doing that. Push rods from TIC as well. And very importantly, I did the trunnion upgrade with the rockers. And I will do a video more in depth on that, because I definitely think anybody that's doing a camshaft definitely wants to do that rocker upgrade, because the way those things are originally designed might work for a stock application for a period of time, but it's not a lot of money for a lot of peace of mind that your rockers aren't gonna come apart and send needle bearings everywhere. So, but I can't say enough good things also about TIC Performance. The cam sounds great. You can go check out the idle video that I've got, and hopefully have some more video of it running and making some pulls here pretty soon. But great product, great company to work with. Every part has been top notch, great instructions. And I had never pulled an engine out of a car. I had never done anything like this before I started this LS swap. And I think that it was a great project. I'm happy that I did it. I learned a ton. but I can't say that I could have done it by myself. I've been a member of a group on Facebook, Mullet Militia, for quite a while now, and it's all third-gen Camaros and Firebirds, and it's a group strictly for tech. I think that they're a great group of people, and honestly, I've made some lifelong friends through this group, and I just want to take a second and say thank you, specifically Matt Walter. Go check out his channel, Speed Mullet. He's running 9s on a stick shift 6.0 third gen, and it's phenomenal what he's doing. Great racing program, but all around just a great person. He's given me tons of advice on this build. I order all my parts through him because I know if I go to Matt and I say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do, he knows what I need, and then he can help me get the right stuff. So go check him out. But again, Matt, thank you a ton. To all the other guys in the Mullet Militia group, Steve, Kevin, John, Chris, all you guys that have listened to me rant, threatened to sell the car, threatened to set it on fire, talked me off the ledge, kicked me in the ass and told me to go get working on the car. I appreciate all of you guys, because I could not have done this without you guys helping me through it. And of course, I mean, there are people, my wife and everybody else, but these guys that I have never met before have helped me stay motivated on this project and given advice and just been invaluable. So thank you. I mean, that's kind of a quick, in a nutshell, bit about the Trans Am. What questions do you guys have about the swap? I'm going to try to make some more content, but any questions you guys have about the swap, like I said, I can't possibly remember everything to cover, and I'm going to make some smaller videos. I just wanted to kind of make an introduction here, and then any questions you have, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to make a video about those. And I've got TikTok account and Instagram and all that stuff that I'll have some links to on my page, but primarily looking to get some content over here. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. And other than that, have a good evening, folks.